Hello, this is Joe Markowitz with today's Liberty Dispatch. I'm going to start a series that may not be sequential. We may have to talk about other topics from time to time, but the series is going to be called The Religion of Progressivism. And so today's episode, today's Liberty Dispatch will be episode 1 or part 1. So welcome to today's Liberty Dispatch. Let's go over just a couple of news items just this week. Two sports legends just passed away. I mean, Hank Aaron, one of the all-time home run leaders a few weeks back. But then I think it was just yesterday or the day before, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Well, I think probably one of the greatest middleweight boxers of all times. Both of these sports legends had passed away because of symptoms or complications following a COVID-19 vaccine shot. Also this last week, Congress, the Senate, and then our president had signed into law this $1.9 trillion what do you call it? COVID stimulus. Absolutely crazy. And I've already documented this on previous Liberty Dispatches. Only 10% of that $1.9 trillion disaster is actually going to COVID-related relief. America is still pretty much shut down. Boy, wasn't it very nice that our president said maybe, just maybe, if everybody gets their COVID shots, all the vaccines are out, and if you're good people, I'll allow you, or we will be able to celebrate maybe July 4th, Independence Day, with other people. Honestly, I'm just going to give you a heads up. I'm going to have the biggest, baddest, bodacious Independence Day celebration, whether my president allows it or not, and he can take a flying leap, so I'll just leave it at that. Only another bit of news that we're seeing. Lockdowns are still pretty much happening across the country. Only 40% of students, are actually in-person learning 5 days a week. Only 40%. And it is just a disaster. It is the harm being done to our children as they slip further and further behind because of these closed schools. No one will ever know until years from now. Oh, our southern border is open. There's a crisis at the border. Who could have predicted that one? And the House just passed major legislation. This is on top of the H.R. 1, which would radically federalize our elections. This is on top of the Equality Act. This is on top of that $1.9 trillion disaster COVID stimulus. The House just passed a major piece of legislation, of course, and it was in the middle of the night. So nobody could watch the debate. A major piece of legislation that would significantly infringe upon our Second Amendment rights. More on that later. Okay, I want to get into this. I'm just going to set it up so this thing is not too long. The topic of this series is called The Religion of Progressivism. The Religion of Progressivism. And I'm going to set it up without getting too deep on this thing. So this is a series that I want to bring light to how progressivism is literally destroying our American culture. And that this is not a coincidence. This is absolutely orchestrated. It's actually been happening for a couple of decades slowly, but you've had patriots and you've had senators and you've had people in the White House that are very, very favorable to religious liberty, independence, self-determination, rule of law. But now we don't. So let's, I want to, again, set this on up and follow me. And I want you to watch this series as it develops. I call it a religion. No, more accurately, I call progressivism a cult. Why are you talking about this, Joe? I thought on your Liberty Dispatches you don't want to talk about politics. Let me explain why I think this is so relevant and why you all should be informed and you should care greatly. I call it a cult. It's a cult that, while it's disguised as enlightenment, openness, tolerance, diversity, it is anything but openness and tolerance. This is a cult, a religion that is built upon rebellion. Rebellion against what? Rebellion against authority, rebellion against tradition, rebellion against Judeo-Christian values. It is a rebellion against God's creation of man and woman, upon how God sees mankind. It is rebellion against independence and freedom, and you can go as far as saying our Constitution. It is rebellion against individual thought and your own critical thinking. It is a rebellion against hard work, sacrifice, and reward. It is rebellion against self-determination, which is the bedrock of our free enterprise system. It is the foundation of what it is, a mindset in America that no matter who you are, what your background is, education level, your race, your name, your religion, that if you want to elevate your life, if you want to change your economic condition, then you can do it. And the government is not there to pick out favorites. The government is to create a level playing field. Progressivism is opposite, where it wants to create level outcomes. But more on that later. This is rebellion against the rule of law. This is rebellion against personal responsibility. This is rebellion against the laws of nature and of nature's God. I'm talking about the religion of progressivism. It is a religion that demands conformity of thought and submission. It is, to me, I'm just going to say, it's very Orwellian. If you don't know what that is, George Orwell's 1984, go check it on out. This is being played out right before our eyes. You ever see the Divergent series? Yeah, go check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. Its virtues, the virtues of progressivism is built upon fear. Fear. It demands removal of open debate and civil discourse. It is about submission. It is about conformity. And progressivism breathes best in a state of division, strife, and victim mentality. Identity politics is the tool of progressivism. And finally, in this series, as I talk about the religion of progressivism, I'm going to give you real-life practical examples of how this wokeism, this progressivism, has invaded not just our government. We're seeing that's a done deal, but sports, entertainment, schools, universities, our churches, the marketplace, how we do business, our corporations, no question about it, social media, and big tech is all behind it, and they provide the platform. I'm going to do a series called The Religion of Progressivism. This is just episode 1 or part 1. I'm going to build upon it with real life examples of what is happening and why this is so dangerous to our American existence, our American culture, our freedom, our liberty, and our independence, our way of life. I want to give you a heads up also that this week I'm excited. I'm going to be doing an interview with my friend Rick Green, and he's going to be joining me on a Liberty Dispatch. And Rick Green, if you don't know him, I'm encouraging you to get to know him. I like to call him America's Constitution coach. You will see him frequently on OAN, on Newsmax, and many other channels right now. He does, just go check out his website, patriotacademy.com, patriotacademy.com. I've known Rick Green for years. He's a good friend of David Barton with Wall Builders. And I'm going to be interviewing him later on this week. Be watching for announcements on that one. Rick Green coming up this week. And by the way, I've got a really cool shirt they're going to be rolling out this week. It is called Fear is Not a Virtue. You're going to love it. We'll be revealing that later on this week. I think it's very appropriate. Okay, so until next time, this is Joe Markowitz with today's Liberty Dispatch.